Okay, this is Lara Madden, and we are here tonight for the eTech Fair webinar called Student Publication. And what we're going to talk about this evening is how to use the learning assessment cycle ideology or theories to get our students to publish their works. And we're looking specifically right now at publishing within the Blackboard shell or within the Blackboard system for their class, and that learning how to do that then helps us show students how to then publish that same work after it's been peer reviewed in other places, like in the future the ePortfolio or their own blog where they want to share information. So I think this is pretty exciting, and I'm going to show you some real specific tools. And we're not going to go into exactly all the tool tips, but we definitely are available at the Academic Innovations and E-Learning Center to show you in depth how to use each of those tools. And we have tool workshops during our boot camp at the beginning of each semester. So if you're interested in the tools as we go along, make a note to check out our workshop schedule and or give us a call to come in to work specifically on any of these tools that we're going to talk about this evening. So it's not just an overview, but it's an overview with a let's go at the end. So we're going to start with the learning assessment cycle. Oops. Okay, so there's a lot of words on this because it's an example, but where I want you to go is just looking at the domain knowledge, critical thinking, and then the green dot is presentation with feedback. And why this interests me is, and I'll point here, give you the pointer. Why this interests me is because I'm really interested in how faculty use their personal learning environment to create work, do research, and then publish their work. But students don't always get to publish their work. So in this learning assessment cycle, we can encourage students to publish their work. And this might be, for you, a focus just on maybe the final project or their capstone project in a course, something that they may normally present live in a class and then turn in the notes to the instructor, and then that's kind of the end of their presentation value. But here we're talking about how to take that project or that assignment and publish it at least minimally within the Blackboard system for peer review, for their peer students to review and look at and learn from, so some student-to-student engagement. But then also for future thinking, and we kind of want to keep this in mind, for ePortfolio and reflection work in the future as our departments and our campus takes on an ePortfolio structure, which is in play with the ePortfolio initiative. So this is kind of a lead-in to how you can pull the artifact-type assignments that will need in the future, and possibly through your classes, maybe not all of your classes, but some of them, and how to present that. But also I think when students see that there's a presentation and a publishing of their work, even if it's within their class structure just for their peers in the classroom, the bar is raised a little, I think, where a work that they might do, that they might just look at the points and say, I just want to see on this, and I'm just turning it into my instructor, and I'm done with it. When that bar is raised, that other people review it, possibly peer review it, and give feedback on it, I think that bar is just raised a little bit higher, and students have the ability to then see that they can put a little bit more work into it and just really do their best work. And I think that publication leads to their best work. So again, we're going to talk about what's the point. I have my little pointer finger here. The point is, at the beginning, student-to-instructor assessment. During the semester, I do my assignments. I type up a term paper. I turn it in Blackboard. The instructor looks at it. Depending on what kind of class it is, it might come back as a draft, and I have to redo it, or I just get a grade on it. And it's kind of locked in the grade center. Only I and the instructor ever see it or read it. And that's fine for a lot of assignments because we're just looking at kind of basic assessment. But we're really talking about this social community, learning community that pulls in student-to-student interaction. And I put optional for peer review because I know currently a lot of graduate level program courses do peer reviews. on projects. And that's really putting my project together, putting it out there for my peers to look at, evaluate, probably based on a rubric of some kind, and then give me feedback so that I can then look through that, maybe do some changes, maybe do some modifications to really get it to be my best work. And whether you're doing a basic student-to-student where we're just learning from each other, or you put in an optional peer review, optionally put in a peer review on that artifact, it really does still raise the bar. It really gets most students thinking, wow, someone's going to look at this. I want it to be great, and I'm going to put a few more minutes into it, or a little bit more research into it, or even technology-wise a little bit more pizzazz into it, just to make sure that I'm up there in that range, and show my work, show what I've learned. And again, for future thinking, as the ePortfolio initiative blossoms on campus, and it's kind of working its way organically, but it will come to fruition that some of our classes will need some kind of ePortfolio assignment and artifact. They will probably be assignments you already use. It's just that next level where it can be an electronic-based final document that can also be embedded in a portfolio for a student to continue to use and keep track of in that other area. So something they themselves will pull out of class and use that reflective portfolio thing on. And if you're interested in portfolio, definitely give us a call. Paul Wasco will let you know all about what's happening and what's coming up, and it's very exciting. And I think it will, again, raise the bar for our students and get them thinking about, creating these things and making them something that eventually can be a public-facing document that they are sharing, showing their work, showing their learning, and showing their progress. And so I think that's very exciting. So back from the green dot on the Learning Assessment Cycle, or LAC, number 7 asks this question: by what means of publication can you prompt your students to share your work? So this is the bulk of this workshop. We're going to focus on Blackboard. So where in Blackboard can students show their work? And in an assignment, the students just share their work with us as an instructor, one-to-one. But we have these awesome tools. So we have the discussion board, we have a blog tool, and we have the wiki. And everywhere that students have in those 3 items, anything they post, they can use the tools that we use sometimes as instructors to post content for them. They can post content also. They have access to video everywhere in YouTube. They have access to SlideShare. They have access to VoiceThread. And there are a couple other things. So I'm going to go over video everywhere, YouTube, SlideShare, and pictures, and I'm going to hint a little bit on VoiceThread because it's a little bit new to some of us. But there's VoiceThread webinars going on all the time, and we'll definitely have some VoiceThread workshops in boot camp this spring. So here's your first info, or your first picture. This looks like, if you are an instructor that's used Blackboard before, when you insert any item or create an assignment or create a discussion board, you get this text editor. Well, the students get the editor also, which is exciting because they have some of the same tools that we have to use to post media. From the left to the right, they have access to the Video Everywhere button, which integrates with YouTube. They have the little Picture Images button, which embeds pictures. They have Insert Embedded Media, which looks like the little movie play sign, where they can insert media files that are saved on their computer. And they have the Mashups tool. And in the Mashups, if you look over to the right, they can embed Flickr photos, SlideShare presentations, additional YouTube videos, and I don't know if they get Atomic Learning or not, but they probably won't need that. They get the top 3 to use. So they can insert the text like we do normally, those videos, SlideShares, images, embedded media, and it's very exciting because they can then put something in that is more exciting than just typing in text or attaching a Word document of a term paper. So we're talking, like most of the classes that I see built have this kind of assignment at the end of class, it's the big final project, or it's a midterm project, and it usually is connected with some kind of class presentation. So kind of get minded for that. This is kind of the idea of where these tools can fit in. And we'll start with Video Everywhere. So if you're not familiar with Video Everywhere, in your content text editor, it's the little button that looks like a camera, a computer camera. It's the little ball with the red dot in it. And this is actually a toggle that opens the box that you see below, this one, that has two tabs, Record and Browse, and it has you and or the student, whoever's using it, sign into YouTube. Right now, students at UAA, and actually anywhere in the UA system, if they're taking a class, have access to Google Apps for Education through their email account. And inside Google Apps for Education lives YouTube, because a couple years ago, I'm pretty sure they bought it. And so YouTube has been integrated within Google Apps for Education, so it's a very quick login, though with everything UAA-based, we'll go over here, once they log in the first time to YouTube and have created a channel, there's a couple of steps they go through, but they're pretty simple, and you only have to do the setup steps once. And we have instructions for all of that out there on our website. You do end up having to sign in again to Google Apps at UA. And that's just because through YouTube, they want you to sign into that secured server, which is the Google Apps server, which is where we hold our student information. So it's really exciting that they have access to this. Now, a really interesting thing about this, if you haven't seen it before, is here, if you look, the first tab is the Record tab. And once I sign into YouTube, this actually comes live. It opens up my camera on my computer, and I can do a video blog. Okay, and I can just record, blah, 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 blah. I can say a lot of things. I can show things. I can do examples. I can just talk. And then I can save that and embed that video blog into my content area and into my assignment. On a side note, that's kind of exciting to me for discussion boards and blogs, because a student could do a video blog instead of a typed blog, or a video discussion instead of a text-typed discussion, and then the other students can see them, hear them, and then respond back to them in the blog using a short video. And I think that makes that particular tool a little bit more engaging than just reading somebody's typed text. So just put that on the side note. You can offer that to your students in their discussion boards. This second tab over here called Browse is the tab that a student or an instructor would open to embed any media they've already created on YouTube or saved up to YouTube at a different time, and then you can go to the Browse tab. It lists all of those things for you in your account, and you select the one you want, and it does the same thing, embeds that particular video right here into the content editor. This is exciting to me. So here's a picture of what it looks like when I've selected something and I say, yes, this is the one I want. You see the content editor box, and then you see this yellow draft kind of what I've selected. It's not pulling through all the way yet, it's just in draft mode. Then I hit submit, and then this second one, if you see, this is an item built with an embedded YouTube video. And you see it's got the video player controls, the title of the video, the YouTube share information, and a play button. And so this is exactly the way you'd see a YouTube video on YouTube. And it's embedded right there, live in full color, for you or for the other students to watch and review, which is really exciting. It's a little bit more engaging. It's something to click and play, and they can engage that way within this video. Faculty can do this for, content information, and then students can do this inside the discussion board, blog, and wiki to create a video. Now, that kind of leads to, well, do we want all our students to do a video blog, or vlog they call them, right, for a final project? And the answer is probably not. But there's some other tools they can use to create these videos and then upload them to create more of a presentation style versus just a video blog of themselves. Okay? So before I get to that, I wanted to note that for all of us, anyone who's posting any kind of video in an educational resource, we want to make sure we understand accessibility. And the biggest one is closed captions. The coolest thing ever is that YouTube has created auto captioning. It's called automatic captions. There's a couple of tips to use for that. One is you can create your video, you can upload your video, and you can embed your video rather quickly. But YouTube takes a little bit of time to render those videos fully into their system. And so if you're looking to put in the closed captions, you have to wait for a little bit of time, sometimes up to 24 hours, depending on the length of your video, to go back into the video itself and create the captions. Now, the cool part about that is you could have that video embedded, and you can go back to YouTube and do the captions at a later time, and then it matches up. You don't have to do anything twice or re-embed anything. It's all automatic, which is, did everyone say awesome? It is awesome. And then the other tip is if there's a long silent lead on the video, the automatic caption tool might not work very well. And so there's a couple of editing tools that you'd want to look into. Another really great thing is YouTube has an entire developer set based on help. And so they have the how-tos on how to edit maybe the front end down a little bit to where you've started speaking, or even edit in between if you sneezed, you know, all those little things that you need to know. And it's very basic, but looks very professional. So that's really a neat feature. So if you're interested in YouTube and making videos in YouTube, I highly suggest going to those help. They have help videos. You can just look it up on YouTube and they show little tutorials, or they've got a text-written instruction set also. But captions are highly important. So the YouTube integration is kind of in a double place. So YouTube integration is through the Video Everywhere, but also it's in the Mashup tool. And if you see here down at the bottom under Mashups, there's a YouTube video button. This pulls up a search engine that you can put in the title of a YouTube video, and it pulls up any YouTube video with a similar title, and you can find the one you want, and then you can embed it. So some people use this for kind of shared content, shared resources that are out there that someone else may have posted, make sure it's vetted and it's from a reputable source. But it can also be used if students do a project and use the YouTube tool. This picture over here, where it says select files to upload, shows these additional tools. Instead of going through Blackboard originally to create a video, you can do a webcam capture directly from YouTube into your account that you can then embed in your class. They also have a really neat photo slideshow tool. And so if a student is creating a slideshow, they can create the images and then use this photo slideshow tool to pull them in and create a slideshow that they can then embed in their class. And then another really cool one is this Google Hangouts on Air. Since YouTube's now a Google product, they have a way that you can do a broadcast and do a presentation through Google Hangouts on Air and then upload it to YouTube and then embed it. And you as an instructor don't really have to know how to do all that. You just let them know they can do that, and then you want to see their results embedded in their assignment. Because all of this has help, and they all have tutorials on how to do it, and if they're interested in doing it, they certainly can find out how, and it's really exciting. If you want to find out how, come see us, and we'll show you, and we'll do a demonstration. But this is kind of the newest, neatest thing, I think, that YouTube has done. Also, if they've already created a video and it's in their Google Plus account, which is through their @Alaska.edu, they can import that into their YouTube account and then also upload it. So they have a lot of places that they could work on their slides and on their presentations, and then they can share it through embedding it into Blackboard, into one of those public places, your discussion board, blog, or wiki, or even just in your assignment editor. If it's something that you want to see them maybe submit to you first for a draft before they publish it, they can do all of those same things in an assignment editor. You can look at it, give them the go ahead and post it on the class wiki. This looks great. Or, hey, this looks great, but these 2 slides I think you need to fix up, or you need to add some additional information, or make sure you cite your sources correctly, and then you can post it. So you have some ways to communicate with your student using these tools before they publicly post. So the next exciting one in the mashup, and here's the little mashup picture over here, is called slide share presentation. This is one that more students might do if they're on the less tech side. If they're not used to using YouTube and they're uncomfortable with video, this is the place where they can go. SlideShare is at www.slideshare.net. It's free for students. They create an account, so they sign up and get a login and password. And then inside here is so cool. They can upload a PowerPoint video. They can upload a Google Drive presentation. And if they have stuff saved in their Dropbox or Google Drive, they can load it from there, so they have a lot of options. But SlideShare has also added a tool where students can, and it's underneath this picture, but where students can actually create a haiku deck, is what the app is called, presentation right here inside SlideShare, put all their information in it for their assignment, save it here, and then once they've saved it here the way they want, go back to Blackboard and the wiki or blog post and go to the mashup, select SlideShare presentation, put in the name of their presentation, pulls up through the search engine, and bam, embeds itself right there in Blackboard. And so this is another really great feature. SlideShare, though, the drawback to it a little bit is that SlideShare is just that. It's pictures and text, and it doesn't have audio. YouTube, on the other hand, has a lot more options if they're going to voice over a presentation, do something like what I'm doing, to talk to the presentation, to record it, so that other students can not only look at it, but they can listen to it and hear the presentation, the speech, the information. So those are the two differences there, is SlideShare is just slides and not a movie itself. YouTube can be really creative, and they can do all kinds of things. They can use Screencast-O-Matic, or they can use Jing. Both have free screen capture tools that can then be loaded into YouTube. So there's a lot more than just what I'm talking about, but these are the ones specifically connected inside Blackboard. So I think that's pretty exciting. And you should check out SlideShare. They actually have a whole library that you could explore, and there's a ton of educational information out here that people upload and share, because it's an open source sharing, and you can choose when you upload, share publicly or keep it private, and those buttons are here. So their public domain has a lot of information and educational information that they've shared, and that's pretty fun. Now this does say videos here. They may have upgraded to video a little bit, but you might have to create your video somewhere else and upload it here. You cannot create a video within SlideShare, but you can create a slideshow. So that's a really nice feature. So a couple of other images and embedded media points is here in the mashups, we've seen this a couple times, there's a Flickr photo button. And currently, Flickr Photo, if you click that, it opens to a Flickr Photo search engine, and you can put in a title or a name, and you can insert images either that you've submitted to Flickr in your Flickr account and put public, or Flickr Photo images that are there for shared or free open use. And if it's an assignment, obviously you'd want it to be your students' photos, but they can put in, build maybe a JPEG photo, or build a JPEG and put it in there and put it in Flickr and pull it up that way. I don't see Flickr used a ton in the mashups right now, but it can be done. And then also from your computer, and here's a little picture of those icons, there is the insert image and there's the insert media. But the insert image one has to be a JPEG or a PNG, so it has to be one of these two styles. And that image inserts, and it actually embeds and lays in the content editor, so you can see the picture. And that's the key to that one is, if there's did they make a poster, and is that poster they can, or an infographic, and then they can embed that. And then when you click on that page, you see that infographic or poster, electronic version of the poster right there. And that can be really neat. Infographics are kind of all the rage right now in educational media. So think infographics, that could be really cool. You can put a lot of research numbers on that. It can be really long, so you scroll down, If you have not seen an infographic lately, I would just go to Google and Google infographics, and then hit images, and you'll see all kinds of stuff out there. There's a lot about e-learning and digital education right now. So this is kind of where I wanted to open up some questions to the group. And now that we've kind of looked at all that and I've put a bunch of tool ideas in your head, the questions are, where do students present in your class? Do they present? If they don't present in your class and you're moving your class into an online format, should they present? What could they present in a digital format that could be student viewed and create a student-to-student learning community? If they already present, where do they publish them? Do you have them where they just turn in the slides to you by hand or in Blackboard and then no one else gets to share them out? And then think about and make a note, what assignments do you already have that could be modified so that the final result is a student-to-student or peer-reviewed assignment where the students, maybe a peer review assignment could be everyone gets additional points for participating in the peer review, so I have to upload my slides or my presentation, and then 2 of my student peers would have the rubric that said, these are the things to look for, and comments on the presentation itself, and then they'd be able to publish that as a response or reply. And then as an instructor, I would look through all of that material, and the students get to kind of critically think about other people's assignments, which really makes them critically think about their own, honestly. They go, oh, I could have done that, or oh my gosh, I missed that completely in mine, or wow, I did that, but I think this student did it in a really great way, and I can remember that for my next final project, and I can learn from my peers, and I think that's pretty exciting. Again, keep thinking about ePortfolio because that's going to become something we see, and these kind of electronic assignments, the students will be able to do some kind of crazy internet magic, crazy Blackboard to the ePortfolio integration, and they'll be able to say, I got an A on this assignment in this class, and here's my student peer review comments are right here, and I want to pull this over and put it in my ePortfolio because that's something that I want to share. And so as we move, you don't have to do that this semester, but I want everyone to start thinking about it because it really brings the bar higher. It gives students the opportunity to do work that's, publish quality, publish quality. That's a big deal. And want them to think about it a lot more because there's that big group of students who are ready, right, to do that. So I am going to go to, this is my thank you card, but I wanted to real quick do an application share and share Blackboard to show one more tool. Okay, so there we go. This should be sharing, and you should see in the recording my browser, and I am going to go to a class that has a voice thread. I'm actually going to go to a class and make a voice thread. I think would be better. Okay, we might have one here. All right. It'll take just a second there. So basically, VoiceThread is a pretty new, look at that one, a pretty new feature. We've used it for a while, but now it has become a feature that we can embed as faculty. And I was thinking about how students could publish VoiceThread. And the way they can do that is by us as a faculty creating an assignment using the VoiceThread tool. And it's going to show you really quickly, and remember, come to see me if you want to see how this works in a much slower, hands-on fashion. And I put in my instructions here. And then down here at the bottom I have this link, and I open it up, and I have a way where I can set up an assignment as a course view. And I think I might have missed a step, but anyway, what you can do, and this is just a really quick example, is in this feature, when it's set up correctly, you can have students come in and create a voice thread of their presentation where they can come in, put in slides, and create this voice thread where then their students can come in and peer review it right here inside the class. And it's in this really neat voice thread tool. And I'll open this up, and I don't know if you are voice thread familiar, but here we go. Takes a second because it's from another source. But here I have this voice thread user interface. I've loaded my whole slideshow presentation here. Here's my face. I have voiced over my presentation on each slide and given some information about it. And the other students, they come in and they watch each one. They listen to me talk about each thing like this on each one. And they can then also do peer review and comment. They can choose underneath here comment. This is beautiful. This is another way students can publish their work. Another great thing about this is that when the students create this voice thread and it's all created, VoiceThread has an awesome embed tool, and they would be able to, if they want to, take this created great voice thread they got a good grade on, students gave really good feedback for, and sometimes good feedback is negative and constructive, right? And they can embed this in a neat portfolio also. So they do all the work here in your class, but then they can share this out in other places. And that is really awesome. And that just makes me happy. So that's a real quick overview of that. Again, if you haven't seen it before, make sure you give us a call at Academic Innovations, and we will show you what that looks like. Real quick, I'll just show you live the content editor again, and we had a picture of it there where, you know, the students have the same content editor with the record from webcam, which is called Video Everywhere, your insert image, your insert embedded media. Again, this media would be something maybe they're totally not YouTube fans at all. They're like, I just want to use my computer and I'm going to save it on my computer and then I want to embed it. They can do that here. So it's their work is actually only on their home computer and then embedded in Blackboard. So they don't have to use all the other tools. Occasionally you get people who aren't comfortable or familiar, and that's okay. We've got, you know, plan B. And then the Mashup tool is here, and so the Flickr SlideShare and YouTube video. And let me just show you the SlideShare window. Hopefully you can see this. And this is similar to YouTube and Flickr, is you can look for search information, and let's see, tags only might be better, right? And I want to say e-learning in any language, or I can choose a language. I only want English, and I'm going to say go. And it's waiting. Oh, there we go. And now I've found some. And so if I put something out here, I can go and find that particular slideshow. Ooh, look, new pedagogies for the digital age. We should probably know this. And we're going to select it. It takes a minute here because I'm doing a couple of different things. I'm going to look at it. I'm going to say, yes, this is the one I want. On the mashup option, number 2, thumbnail small. I want to embed the presentation so it's kind of engaging. I like adding the URL just in case people are having a hard time with their internet and they can just copy that URL and look at it in another page. I click submit. I'm going to give it a title. And I'm going to submit. And we're going to cross our fingers that all this works while we're on Collaborate at the same time. And there it is. And so here is an example of how that is. Okay, my mouse is weird. All right. Not that one, this one. This is an example of how that SlideShare looks. And so that's really engaging. The other students can read the tags in the abstract. They can click through. They can see all the information and the quotes and the data, and there you go. So it looks just like that. And they can do that in the same exact thing, like I said, in the blog tool, the discussion board tool, and on a wiki. And in a wiki, of course, each student would make their own page, and this would be in there, and then the other students can also, like a website, check that page, look at it, walk through it. So, again, going back to thinking about how you might implement any of these things. Remember, we always suggest implementing one small thing at a time. Don't get in a panic or anxiety that you have to implement publication in every single assignment or even this semester, but be thinking as you're looking at your new syllabus for each class how you might engage in some digital media that the students are sharing and publishing, minimally with inside Blackboard, but maybe for the future in their ePortfolio or other locations. So thank you for being here and listening to my webinar. This is an eTech Fair webinar, so we do have a Qualtrics survey. If you enjoyed the webinar and the information and you wanted to participate in the eTech Fair 2014 badging system where you can watch, participate in some of how this works here in the sessions, and then you can earn a badge through Credly, which is pretty fun. So again, thank you very much. I appreciate your time, and have a great day.